Hey guys, welcome back to the Gill Switch where we work on cars and we prove if a team can do it, so can you. Today we're going to be putting winter tires on a 2014 Toyota Sienna. And just so you guys know, always lay out your parts before you start working. So we have an air gun, and then we have all of our sockets that are needed. We have a torque wrench, we have a breaker bar, we have chocks to chalk off the wheel, we have a tire pressure gauge, and then we have a 3-ton jack. You can also use the scissor jack that comes with the car, but we have our own. So, and then also the most important thing that you need are winter tires. We have them on rims. So if you guys need to put the winter tires on the rims, then go to an auto shop because you can't really do it in your garage. So now, let's get on to working on the car. So guys, we're here. We're going to be setting up the jack soon, but before you do that, you got to remember to chalk off your wheels. Always chalk off the opposite side that you're going to be lifting up, and just slide it under either wheel. I just prefer the front wheel, and just kick it in. Make it sure that's nice and firm. So now you're good to come over to here. And then when you're gonna go jack up the car, you want to make sure that's either on the pinch weld that most cars have, or it's on a very supportive part of the frame. So now there's typically jack points. There's like an arrow right on the side skirt. And then you want to make sure that there's a very firm piece of metal, and you're just gonna want to jack up on that. All right, we're good to lift up. Like before the tire leaves the ground, you want to crack open the nuts so that it's easier just to remove it so then you don't have the wheel spinning. So guys, before you start going to take off all the lugs, make sure they have the right lug nut. Make sure you have the right socket for the lug nut. Ours is a spline drive. But always know, because like some of these, for example, this on this wheel, it has an actual like locking key. And there's actually a special type of thing that comes with your car for that. But ours is just spline drive, so we're good to go take it off. Make sure that you know which way you're taking off the lug nut, or else you can damage it. So obviously, if you have air tools to just crack it loose, just do it because it's faster. But we'll show you the older way. I just want you guys to know that we're using a breaker bar to crack the nuts, not a torque wrench or a ratchet. So now that you got the nuts loose, you're able to now jack up the car and then take them off. I'll be back in a bit. So you don't need it too high off the ground. You just want to have good clearance between the wheel and the ground. So like right there should be good. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly shoot them all off. I brought my air gun because I'm not doing this the traditional way. I'll just see you in a bit. You don't really you don't need to go with the star pattern for this because you're just removing the wheel, not putting it on. So now when you're done, make sure that it's out of the way and that you won't step on it. Pick up your lug nuts, and we're gonna put these away because these are the summer lugs, and we have our own winter lugs. Pick this up because we don't need this as well. Just take the wheel, use your Hulk strength and hold it. Don't trip on that, and walk it into the garage. Let her down. And just rest it somewhere, and then get the wheel that you're going to be using, and then make sure that you chalk it. For this one, you're going to put right left, right front. I mean, my bad. Since we have directional tires, we're going to be going from right front, right front to the right rear. But if you don't have directional, then you go fronts to the back, but then you switch the backs from side to side and then put it to the front. So for example, the right rear would become the left front. I hope that explains it well. So guys, I'm going to try to speed this up just a little bit more, but keep it still instructional because we're losing daylight. But this is also going to show you that you don't need daylight to do this. You just need just a little bit of light. So let's get into it. So now you're going to want to put on your wheel. We're changing up lug nuts. You don't have to, but we like to do that. And then we have a locking key for this one. So you got to make sure you can locate where the top part of it is. So now let's just put it on the wheel. So you want to line up the lug nuts, the studs with the holes of the wheel. I'm having a little bit of trouble, so I'm just going to readjust. I think I see the issue. So guys, you always want to make sure that the wheel hub is always proper to the right diameter. Since those are aftermarket, it's a little bit bigger of a hub, so you have to put these in so it's a nice quiet ride. I forgot to look for that. That's why I was having so much difficulty. I'm going to remove it, like I did, and then go back, and hopefully that's going to solve everything. So now you're going to want to put on just one lug nut just to kind of hold it in place until you get all the other ones on. Thread it on with your hands before you start using any power tools or anything like that, so then you prevent any damage to the studs. So I don't really know if it is that important to go in crisscross pattern for just hand tightening these on, but I'm going to do it anyways because it's a good habit to be in. Now you want to make sure that this thing's locked on. You should just give a couple good twists like that, and if it does not spin, then you know that you're good. So now it's time to bolt everything up. So I'm just going to air gun them back up. You don't want to do too hard with the air gun because then you're going to torque them later. So just give it a little shoot to know that you're untightened. And I'll go on a crisscross pattern. This is when it's very important, so that gives it even distribution. Alright, so that is one wheel done for now. We're still gotta torque it, but I'm just gonna do the rest, and then I'll see you in a bit. Alright. Okay guys, as you can see, I just finished up with the last tire. Now it's time to torque your wheels. I'm gonna put 80 pounds-feet of torque. You can put it to 76. I just find 80 just makes me a little bit more comfortable. But also to know your pound-feet of torque for your car, you gotta search it up. So that's what we did, and we found 76 or 80, so we're just going with 80. So now, make sure you do all of the tires, and we'll be back in a bit. So that front wheel is a clear demonstration of why it's also very important to torque your wheels, because I actually forgot to tighten one down to the fullest. So this we went over it. I found one that I did not fully do. Also, just a quick disclaimer for you guys to know, I did not look up the lock keys. You don't need to. The auto mechanic that I work with says that you can break like the little teeth in it. So I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm done with all the torquing. So now it's just time to clean up, pack up, and then take it for a test drive just to make sure that every single wheel is up to spec. So before you start putting everything away, you just gotta make sure that you wind this back down because it's spring loaded. And if you have it on pressure for the times that's like resting, it's gonna make it uneven, like it's not gonna be a proper reading. So there's actually an important thing about laying out your equipment before using it. I forgot to air up the tires, and it was just kind of there when I was gonna pack up. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do it. So quickly put these on. I always struggle with this. There we go. So guys, that concludes our video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, give us a thumbs up. And also subscribe. If you didn't, leave it down in the comments if you think I can do better.